He come right to that decoy. Holy cow.
My playground is out in the woods, back in the sticks, this is my hood. Waking up early with nature's hand in mine. Finger on the trigger just to seal the deal. Feel the chill, shoot to kill. It's the thrill, it's the skill, it's the rush, it's the dust and grind. Living the backwoods life.
Royer hunts in Kansas. Kathy and Ryan just left. Their tags are filled. It's mine and Kevin's turn now.
I rolled in the day they left, and apparently they took the cold weather with them because it got hot.
One thing about Kansas is the more you watch, the more you realize that it is legal to hunt over bait.
And yes, we are hunting over corn and Antler King attractants in Kansas. Now, before you run to the keyboard and start sending us hate messages on Facebook, I want you to remember, just a few weeks back, we're hunting over picked cornfields in Missouri and Illinois. We didn't get anybody fussing about that. These deer are eating the same thing, corn, right here in Kansas.
It's legal, so we're gonna do it.
All this hot weather, I was still seeing a pile of deer, but no shooters.
Well, I'm rolling into camp, and I'm bringing cooler weather with me.
Michael and I are headed to two completely different farms, but we're both hunting in ground blinds, just hoping for a buck to come into bow range.
Afternoon in Kansas. It's November the 6th, I think. Yep. It is all bedding area. Everywhere around us is just big, grown-up CRP, cedars, cottonwoods, all kind of stuff. We just gotta get lucky. Hopefully we will.
Backwoods Life is brought to you by these great companies: Hawk Optics, Prime Archery, Antler King, Branson Tractors, Hunga Munga Broadheads, and Quality Archery Designs. This segment of Backwoods Life is brought to you by Covert Scouting Cameras, remote cameras for hunting, wildlife watching, and security.
Oh, shoot.
And that's a little too low. Apparently when that buck walked in, Michael thought it was going to be a real close shot. So he had dialed in that spot hog getting ready for 5 or 10 yards. But then that buck walked out there about 30, 35, and it didn't turn out the way he had planned.
Well, I think the only thing I got out of this shot was maybe a little bit of white hair. We watched this buck walk around for almost an hour after the shot. He was fine. Well, the bucks are moving around me. Hopefully they are around Kevin too, but maybe he'll have better results.
It's a good buck. It's a good buck right there coming down the hill.
When this deer walked out, he is straight downwind. But we'd sprayed down with lethal, we've got the ozonics cranking, and we've got Antler King apple burst in the middle of this food plot. So hopefully that's the right combination where he won't bust us.
There's another buck on the hill behind him too. It's smaller. Yeah, I agree. Got him. Watch him, stay on him. That's a good buck.
So we decided to back out and get some reinforcements, but based on this blood trail, we probably would have been fine to go ahead because he was pouring blood right here. He was laying right there.
Yeah.
He had me nervous there when we wasn't finding blood, but came back, found him no problem. Oh. Dude, that's what I came to Kansas for right there. Thank you, buddy.
Congrats,
Man.
that's a great buck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with a sticker right here
That's
for
pretty
11.
cool. Got a flyer out the side.
And that's cool right there. We sat here for a couple days and the weather's been hot, and we knew all we had to do was wait for that weather to change and everything's gonna get better.
Yep. Stay where the girls are.
Yep, this morning it got cool, 36 degrees. And this afternoon this big joker came in, just as pretty as you please. Out here at Royer Hunts in the same food plot where Kathy shot her deer the other day.
That's a
And
good
that's,
one.
what, 3 days, 4
Yep.
days later?
Yep.
Man. Michael Lee saw a buck this afternoon and didn't work out with him. Everybody, this cool weather, everybody's seeing big deer.
Backwoods Life is also brought to you by Ozonics, 10X, Bill Jordan's Real Tree, Seth McGinn's Can Cooker, and Hunter Safety System. This segment of Backwoods Life is brought to you by Lethal's Bug and Tick Repellent. Always lethal.
Well, yesterday afternoon, I tagged out and shot my buck here in Kansas. Michael Lee, Fred, everybody's out still hunting. So I went on Can Cooker's website and found a recipe. I'm gonna cook up some lunch. A little brown rice jambalaya in the old Can Cooker. They got a recipe right there. Ran to the grocery store, picked everything up that I needed. It's gonna be a piece of cake. Here's the good thing about the can cooker. I got my chicken stock in there with a little bit of seasoning in with it. And then the way the rest of this stuff works, it's kind of like this. You just gotta pour it in. That's some celery and some red bell pepper. And we gotta have some rice and some tomatoes. And don't tell Michael Lee this part because he don't like this stuff right here. Garlic. Let me try to get away. Put the lid on here. Latch it down. And cook it on medium for about 55 minutes. We got some shrimp we're gonna add in the last 5 minutes, but other than that, that's a piece of cake. Hardest part was me having to cut up all the stuff. Maybe next time I can get Tim to do that. Well, I actually cooked it a little bit longer than the recipe called for because we were busy hunting this afternoon, but this stuff looks good. Recipe off Can Cooker's website. Can Cooker. Brown rice jambalaya. And based on all the remarks I already got around camp, this stuff is good. Can Cooker. That's so easy I can cook.
The next afternoon, we're set up on a river bottom, right on the edge of a big pasture. A couple does come in to feed, and here comes the buck right behind them.
That's a shearer.
Yeah. Between Michael and Fred running the camera, there's a whole bunch of ugly sitting up in this tree, and this deer don't like it.
Well, Kevin, being the exquisite hunter that he is, has already filled his buck tag. Now the does better watch out, because he's got a tag.
Not ready for this hunt to end. We've already had several does walk by us, and I just hadn't shot one. I don't really have a good reason, and my camera guy's about to get mad at me. Tim said I better shoot the next one. Matt. Matt. Doe down, right over there. She's done, and I'm done in Kansas. We might as well go get her and get the truck and get out of Kansas. Royer hunts. Prime time. Put a hungamonga right through the pump station and she went all of about 100 yards and crashed right here. Gonna be some good back straps for the table out here at Royer Hunts. That's pretty cool right there.
Backwoods Life is also brought to you by Knockout Lighted Knocks, Garmin, Rugged Cross Blinds, Spot Hog, Ghost Blind, True Lock Chokes, Victory Archery, and Lacrosse Footwear. This segment of Backwoods Life is brought to you by Shiver Carts, your authorized easy-go and bad boy off-road dealer in Tifton and Valdosta, Georgia.
Kansas has been fun so far. I've seen quite a few deer, seen some good bucks, but it just has not worked out. So I'm trying something different. I'm putting a decoy out.
We've seen quite a few deer. We've seen several does and just had two pretty nice bucks come by. Probably on the edge of rifle range, 200, 250 yards or more. And they left with some does. And that's the synopsis of the morning so far. I don't know.
When I saw this buck, I knew he wasn't a giant rack, but he was a big, mature deer. And that's what I wanted to get a shot at. This buck's been standing there staring down the decoy for I don't know how long. And finally I got a little small window to shoot through.
You smoked him, brother.
Dude, he come right to that decoy. Holy cow. That joker took forever and he stood behind them trees.
Man, he was postured up right out there. That freaking hungamonga hammered him.
I'm freezing now.
Watch this.
He didn't get his blood stopped right there. Oh, here's one right here. Look, dude, right here, right here. Right there on the edge of the river. What? What?
Yes, sir.
Get you some of that. Dog, look at him. That's a heck of a mature buck. There he is, dog. Prime time in Kansas, baby. Look at that joker. He been hitting trees. Got great mass on him. Big old 7-point. He's got a tip broke right there. He came into that decoy like a boy dog. God almighty.
weight is off my shoulders, baby. Thank you, Fred.
No doubt.
Lugging out here with me.
Freaking awesome morning.
Kind of a bittersweet day. 1 week ago, I put my 13-year-old dog down. And I came out here to Kansas because I get my mind off of that a little bit. I don't care what anybody says, that's hard. But it's worth it.
Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, man.
Awesome book.
Thank you.
There's just something about spending a little time in the woods and being out there deer hunting with a bow in your hand that does a lot of healing.
Last fall in Kansas was one that we won't ever forget. Every one of our team members that went out there and hunted, we all filled our buck tags on great deer. Can't thank Royer Hunts enough for all their hospitality, all the great hunting. We can't wait to get back this year.
Go over at the Royer Hunts Facebook page. All those big trail cam pics of huge bucks keep you fired up for hunting season.
Kevin and I are hunting 2 different farms here.
Snake got hungry. He had his head laid over in the grass.
All I see is antlers coming out of a thumb thicket. As I said thumb thicket a while ago, messed me up.